What is going on today, guys? It's another video from Hazmat Trucker. Hope you're all doing well. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I've been seeing pop up recently on social media and YouTube, and it's this idea that your job is going to make you happy, or you're entitled to get some sort of sense of self-worth or value out of your work that you do. And regardless of what it could be, you're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be fulfilled as a person at your employer, or even if you work for yourself, right? And really, it's just another variant of the lie that we have been told from a very young age, which is, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, or follow your heart and the money will follow, all that BS like that. The reality is the real world doesn't work like that. And while people who tell you that are well-meaning, it's not going to set you up for success. I was certainly told that, or, things along those lines, pretty consistently growing up. And as a result, I thought I was entitled to that. I thought I was entitled to, demand from the world that I get paid a great wage for something that I absolutely love to do. And that's just not how the real world works. I wasted years of my youth trying to chase that lie and trying to justify me being happy at every single turn or every single fork in the road. And really, it's just, I have a lot of regret for believing those lies and believing that I was entitled to that when it couldn't be farther from the truth. So hopefully, especially if you're a young man or even a young woman, it doesn't matter. You can learn from that mistake that I had and wasted a lot of my 20s believing that lie. So here's the reality, okay? I've heard once before, if it was fun, if work was fun, everybody would do it and no one would get paid. Okay. It's called work for a reason. It's not called fun. There's a difference between work and fun. The sooner that you can realize that and drop the entitlement for always having fun or always being happy, either one or both, the better off you're going to be. Because here's the reality. You're paid to do a job because it brings value to somebody else. It brings value to your employer. It brings value to your employer's customer, or even if you're self-employed, doesn't matter. Your customer is giving you money because you are giving them a service or a product or both that they want and are willing to exchange their time or money for. And here's the other reality. If you want to get paid a lot in your job, you have to do one of the following things, or a combination of the following things, okay? You need to have certain skills or certifications that nobody else or very other few people want to get, like Hazmat or any of your other endorsements in regards to trucking, or the job has a certain higher than normal liability or it puts your life at risk. And I'm talking, oil rig work or underwater welding as an extreme example. They are paid a lot of money because it is a high risk job and it is a high skill job as well. Or your job needs to be in high demand within the area that you want to live, right? Or any combination of those things. So again, just to quickly review, in order to get paid a lot, the job is going to require certain special skills or certifications, or it's going to have a higher than normal liability to it or risk to your life, or that job is going to be in high demand in a specific area. And guess what? Even in the high paying jobs, there's still going to be a lot of trade-offs. As a wise man by the name of Thomas Sowell once said, there are no solutions, only trade-offs. So that means that in every single job, doesn't matter what you're doing, there's going to be things about that job that you don't like to do. And again, that's why it's called a job or work, not fun and happiness. Okay. Perfect example is my job. Do I like working at night? No, not particularly. Do I like working on the weekends? Nah, not really. Do I like working over major holidays if I'm scheduled to work them? No, not really. I'd rather be off with my family. But I am paid a requisite amount that compensates me for doing that job that nobody else or very few people want to do normally. And I said, I don't love my job. It's not my wife, it's not my kids, it's not my dog. It's not something that I'm going to have just this ultimate amount of pride in, because ultimately it's a job. Now, that's not to say, and let's read between the lines here, okay? I'm not saying you don't have pride in your work. You should have pride in your work. You should do a good job. You should do your best at whatever it is that you do, okay? But that doesn't mean that you make it your core identity of who you are as a person. I made that mistake several times throughout my 20s of making a job my core identity. And when things happened or things went south and I no longer had that job, a part of my identity was then crushed. So don't fall into that trap either of making your job your sole identity, or the biggest part of your identity as a person. That's when people lose their job and then they decide the best solution is a long walk off of a short dock, or any variation of not continuing on in this life. So don't go down that route. At the end of the day, it's just a job. It's just a way to make money, and hopefully you're maximizing your time, and that'll be a separate video on that specific topic. But don't make it the core of who you are. And that would just be my recommendation to avoid a lot of pain and suffering that I did myself. But again, if you guys think I'm wrong, or you want me to talk about any other specific videos, please put it in the comment section down below. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. God bless.